Hi to everybody new in my group. My name's Chase. I'm taking this class as part of my psychology requirement for the Fire and Emergency Services Technology degree. I'm in my second year of my second attempt at SPSCC. I did an AA in General Studies in high school 6 years ago and got out and just worked some random jobs. Always wanted to be a firefighter, so decided to go back to school for it. So now I'm fully immersed in that. I live at a fire station. It's what I spend all my time doing and really enjoy it. I've got two brothers. My mom are my family. My mom does foster care, so we have two little ones running around that I love more than anything. And that's pretty much me. So I decided to do a video for everything this week because it's really uncomfortable for me to do. And I think that is kind of good to make myself do it instead of just typing in a paragraph. You know, I can do that really quick, but the video I actually have to think about a whole lot more. So here goes nothing. The first section I did was understanding the complexities of gender, which I was super impressed at first. The speaker, he is remarkable at talking. The whole thing rhymed. I mean, it was all pretty powerful. I think that growing up for the most part of my life in Olympia is really kind of given me a different view. I mean, I felt that he was using extreme stereotypes, and when he was talking about men and women's roles in society, and I mean, growing up in a single mom household and my mom not being that usual mom, you know, I learned how to change my oil for my mom. My mom and I built, wooden structures. We built a giant shop, and every project I've ever done for carpentry and stuff like that I did with my mom, and we're not good at anything, but we still do a lot of projects together. It's really not a general stereotype of a woman. And so that's kind of my view on it, is I thought that he was being an extreme in the stereotype sort of ways. And given Olympia, it's really kind of a progressive area. There's a lot of acceptance for being who you want to be, and, you know, being able to express the gender you want and the gender you feel, and not the gender you were born with. And so to me, that I kind of kept that in mind the whole time watching it, is that, you know, he's probably not talking to a group at Evergreen. He's talking to a group in Chicago or something like that, where, you know, it may not be as acceptable to be who you want to be. And, you know, it may take a much more brave person to come out and say, you know, hey, I'm a dude, but I identify as a girl. I saw a lot of it at Evergreen. I worked at Evergreen for 3 years, and Evergreen's made a huge push. Every building at Evergreen has gender-neutral bathrooms, and a lot of areas around Olympia have the same thing. I don't know about SPS because I don't know the campus very well, but I mean, they might even now. And so I guess Olympia is a really good place for that. And there's a lot of acceptance. So overall, I thought that it was impressive the way he ran his speech. It was super interesting because everything rhymed, which I laughed at. But overall, I think that in Olympia, everything he's saying is already kind of taking place. And so I think that's really good for our area. The second thing I did was the implicit associations tests. I did 2 of them. The first one I did was kind of race and dangers. It was weapons is what they called it, but it brought a lot of race into it. And I mean, I didn't think I missed one of the little E's and I button clicks, and that's just because I was going too fast. I forgot which was which. And it gave me a weird score. It said that I have a strong association with blacks and weapons, which I don't necessarily agree with. I'm myself very advocate gun owner, and I don't really have any sort of prejudice or anything like that. And I was really shocked when I got my results to it. I didn't quite understand how it gathered it. I mean, I tried to take the test as humanly fast as possible and clicking really fast, and I'm assuming if you clicked faster through the segment where it was associating black Americans with weapons than you did with white Americans and weapons, if you could relate them quicker, maybe that's how it garnished the results. But I don't think that is very descriptive of me. And I don't know, if I slowed down and did the whole test a little slower, maybe it would have given me a different result. I decided to take a different one. I did the mental health one, and it said that I had little to no difference in my association of dangerous with physically ill or mental people. And I also don't know if I super agree with that. I thought that it was a huge generalization for a lot of things, because I think that someone who is not in the right mental state and is not going and getting help could be a danger to themselves or others. I mean, we see that working in the fire service. You see calls where that happens. And, you know, we go to these calls, and I've seen some things, and it is scary. I think that I'm not prejudiced against mental health. I think that people who have it need to get help for themselves. I don't want to classify all mental health as a broad, dangerous thing, nor do I like the test comparing OCD to schizophrenia and how that's the same thing, because I think that someone who suffers from OCD is not a danger at all, but a schizophrenic person could be a danger. I mean, you look at some of the big shootings that have happened, and some of them are unregulated mental health patients. I think that is dangerous. And I do agree that there should be a way to filter mental health problems for gun ownership, and that just because you're able to be smart enough to not want to get help, if you're still a danger to yourself or others, I think you should almost be pushed into getting help. And I think that part of that as a whole United States has a negative connotation against mental health. And if we just accepted it as a thing and people didn't look down at other people for having it, people wouldn't be afraid to go and get the help they need. So those were my results on that test. And the third test I did, or the third section, kind of was the stereotypes. I feel strongly about stereotypes. I think that people use them too much, and that a lot of times stereotypes can be a real bad way to describe someone. And I think that in all of these weeks, everything we've done homework-wise and discussions, there's been an aspect of stereotypes in all of them. And I don't believe in stereotypes that much. I try to get really far away from it. And I'm not the greatest at times. And working in the fire service has really helped me kind of push away from that. They tell us, treat everybody like they're your grandma. And it's really helpful to look at it that way and kind of just get away from what you see, whether, it's a homeless guy who's drunk at 2 a.m. or it's little old grandma down the street. You got to treat everybody the same. You can't just assume that someone's doing something or trying to get, or lying or something just based on anything they look by. You kind of have to get deeper than that. And I think that's something that is really important for people to try to not use stereotypes, because the article that I read kind of talked about how stereotypes go into discrimination and prejudice. And I believe that that's really true. So, that's my assignment for the week. Thank you guys. Bye.